Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Bits and Banter. As ever, we are gathered to discuss one of those amazing matches. I mean, in the sense, amazing in the sense it was the most exciting playoffs between DC and CSK. So we have with us to discuss last night match, Bharat, journalist from Chennai, and Arvind, who sits in Kochi. Before I get in the program, a brief recap of what happened last night. What happened last night was the clock was turned back, or so it seemed, as the winning hit came off the 19.4 over with Mahendra Singh Dhoni hoiking a boundary of a hapless bowler as the Chennai franchisee made it to another finals of the IPL. How many times we have seen this before? Well, Chennai has entered the finals of the IPL for the 9th time. This consistency is beyond brilliant. Its opener Ruturaj Gaikwad as ever set the platform, but Robin Uthappa coming good with 63 was another mini comeback of the day. And when Chennai was in a spot losing middle order wickets in a cluster, in came Thala and he biffed a 6-ball 18 to ease the frayed emotions of the CSK fans. It was a night that Delhi Capitals, which had beaten the Chennai team twice this season, lost tactically after scoring 172, which is a good score in a knockout situation. The Delhi team continuously erred in its bowling choices, not the least in entrusting the final over to Tom Curran, while leaving Kagiso, Rabada, and Axar Patel, who both had bowled only 3 of their stipulated quota. Well, Bharat, I'll come to you first. What really worked for CSK last night?
Simple. It's just the kind of players that they had in the squad who delivered. See, forget Ruturaj Gaikwad, he's got a cool it, but rest of the others have had similar experience playing in big matches. They knew what the situations. Even take the case of Robin Uthappa, he has been there for so long. So he had been in such situations even for KKR. So they knew very well that the opponents are going to err, they'll be edgy, there will be nerves in their cap. So let's hold it. Simple. Dhoni did the same. He walked in before Jadeja. His body language was very quite clear. He was sending a message to Pant, who was a bit nervy right from the start that I am here, I'm going to whack the ball, I'm going to win it for CSK. And of course, in such situations, the opponents are going to make some mistakes. If it had been Mumbai, it would have been a different case. Delhi, they have hardly played 10 playoff matches and CSK 23 playoff matches. That shows they have been in that situation before and they knew how to handle it. So, and as far as bowlers are also concerned, see, even at the death, going for 10 per over is not a crime in the 19th or 20th over, especially. So, CSK sheer won the game by holding their nerves. They knew what to do next, and there was no nerves in the camp. And big match winner like Dhoni, 6 balls, out of which 2 he tried to hoik, he didn't connect, but rest of the 3 boundaries under 6. And anyway, Jaddu was there on the other end. And last over, see, I would say like what Pant decided was a brilliant decision to go with the best bowler in the tournament. I mean, in the match, because he picked up 3 wickets. He's slowest. The batsmen are not able to pick it up. So obviously the choice was to go for Tom Curran. Even I had been there, I would have gone for Tom Curran. But again, I'm saying Dhoni is one kind of player. You know what to deliver at what game, and he was keeping his best for this match.
Arvind, I'll pick one point from Bharat. He was very certain that he would have gone with Tom Curran, but I was not so sure because Rabada is a kind of a bowler who in the past has had some measure of Dhoni because his pace is, I mean, pegging him back on the back foot. He has done that before. He did that in 2015. In fact, Dhoni is some kind of a decline came through when Rabada kind of exposed him in 2015. So did DC miss a trick or two?
I think this is something which I talk about. This is something which I think a lot of you will agree that in a T20 cricket, the penultimate over is very, very crucial. So Tom Curran might have been the chosen bowler for the 20th over, but you had an option of bringing Rabada in the 19th over. So Avesh Khan did not have a great match. I remember, I think in the power play, how Robin Uthappa. Yeah, even the previous game, he leaked out 15-16 runs in the last over. That is fine. But even in yesterday's match, Avesh Khan did not have a great outing. Robin Uthappa took him all over the park in the power play. And even in his third over, he was pretty okay in the third over, but was not looking very lethal. So I think that is where probably DC missed the trick by bringing they could have bought in Kagiso Rabada probably in the 19th over instead of Avesh Khan, because somewhere in the back of their mind they were sure that they will go with Tom Curran, who's known to bowl death overs. even for England as well as for the respective franchises. So Kagiso Rabada could have come in the 19th over, but holding Kagiso Rabada back both for 19th and 20th over was not a very
Smart
good
move.
aggressive decision. Yeah, it was definitely not a good decision.
Bharat, I'll come to the other point.
Yes.
I mean, forget about the choice of bowlers, but the way they bowl, because for Robin Uthappa, everybody knows he's kind of slightly vulnerable to balls that are short, but they can continuously fed him with balls in his zone, allowing him to drive. Same was the case with Ruturaj, and in the end, let's face it, Dhoni, though he hit those runs, and we were all happy that with the way he came back. But let's also face it, he has just two strokes in his armory right now. One, the hoik towards the leg side, another is a hoik towards the offside. And out of the 6 deliveries, 2 deliveries he missed, but 4 deliveries they bowled him in the zone that he wanted. So then again, that was another error from the DC. Don't you think so?
Exactly. See, the DCs were getting prepared for Duplessis, Ruturaj, and maybe Raidu, but they
Exactly.
came out of the syllabus was Robbie Uthappa. See, they weren't prepared for Robbie Uthappa actually, because they were thinking the first thing was whether Robbie would play or not, because everybody's mind was that somehow they'll make sure like right now get ready big match player, somehow he would be there inside. So they never kept Robbie in the syllabus. And eventually what happened is Robbie came, and as Robbie was saying, the dressing room culture, the way the big guns like Robbie Uthappa have been given a free run, how they feel comfortable inside that those things worked out. See, he is a bigger player, he has to take responsibility. So they would have entrusted him with the responsibility to go do his best. See, the best part for Delhi was today, as you said, they didn't pick Uthappa's weakness. They were bowling to his strength, and he was happy backing the ball. And once Uthappa got going, Rutu was very smart. He was playing second fiddle. He was nudging and he was running for that singles. And once Uthappa got out, then he went for shots. See, it's a level-headed cricketer. Rutu is almost, I could see 5-6 years ahead of his, the mental set of his mind is more than 5-6 years ahead of what he is today. But again, I would say what they did was 11th over. I was very surprised. Ashwin bowled a very good over. They took Ashwin away. Then they gave Axar Patel that over where the run started to come back. Now a straight drive of him and a 6 towards the leg side. See, the momentum was again back in that over. See, Pant is hardly a year old as captain for DC. Errors bound to happen. It's a big match, and he has to take some calls. See, he learned by his mistakes. Maybe next edition or next to next, you recall and say, I made a bad decision there. I goofed up with my bowling. Maybe I would have handled better. These all happens in international cricket. But for DC, yesterday somebody who's out of syllabus was Robbie Uthappa.
Yeah, but the point about Ashwin is right, Bharat, because he bowled a very good first over, but they stopped him. They brought him back sometime later when he went for runs. See, he was biffed for 2 fours by Robin Uthappa, one a reverse sweep and another a straight shot. So, but Ashwin as a bowler has not had a great season, especially the second leg. So, when he was bowling with rhythm with one over, I mean, then again that was slightly. That was a novice mistake from Pat, but as you rightly said, that you learn from these mistakes. But Arvind, what is that makes CSK tick regularly? See, out of the 14th edition, they are in the 9th finals, and they missed playoffs only 1 year. That was the last season. Why is this team so consistent than the rest of the other teams?
I think Robbie Uthappa gave an answer for that. I mean, in a way, Robbie Uthappa gave it's one of the most secured franchises. So yesterday, I was reading through one of those things where after a disastrous 2020, they did not have a major revamp of the team. They backed their own players. They backed their own players' strengths and said, "You are our key players. You are going to deliver. Let's forget about 2020." And play the way you are, just play natural cricket. And they just had to make minor tweaks, like bringing in Moeen Ali. Moeen Ali, I think he covered quite a lot of area for CSK. And similarly, all other players, if you see, they were all part of the playing 11 in 2020. So it is all about backing your own players, backing the players' strengths, and keeping a very secured environment. I believe that the bringing in calmness, both Fleming as well as Dhoni, that has been the trend going it's almost for a decade, and that is still continuing. So it's very, very important to maintain calm and composure within the camp, and I guess that is reflecting in the results. even now I can say that they are definitely not the best side in this season's IPL, but it is all about playing to the situation and I mean how your mental strength is, and that is clearly being shown in the results.
That's a very good point. Not being the best team and still being in the finals, that shows you have the personnel for the situation. So that's a good point. And about Moeen Ali, because he bowled three very good overs when Delhi was going. See, Delhi batting didn't do all that bad because you had Prithvi Shaw going very well at the start, and towards the end you have Hetmeyer and Pant himself doing good. So, but it's the middle overs. The first 5 overs went for plenty. The last 5 overs went for plenty. But during this middle overs, between the 5th over to 15th over, CSK kind of contained. This where, I mean, Bharat, this is where Dhoni's smarts as a captain comes in, because he, in the middle overs is where CSK usually wins, because it doesn't have the firepower to contain batsmen in the either in the power play or towards the back end. But they kind of choke the run flow, because especially with spinners. Yesterday you had Moeen Ali and Jadeja. Jadeja though didn't bowl to his potential, but that's where Dhoni comes into play. Dhoni's tactical noob that comes into play. That was evident, right? Before we saw Dhoni the batsman.
No, exactly. See, that is what giving Dhoni the results. See, basically from the 7th or 8th over, you start to choke the batsman with your spinners. And the way our spinners bowl is almost 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes, you finish off over. So by 6-7 minutes, when the batsman tend to drop his guns, he'll suddenly see at the scoreboard and realize that the score has come really drastically down. You don't even give time for them to realize that your scoring rate is going down. That pass will finish off the overs, and add to it, if they feel like relaxing or if they want to go after the spinners, then comes your Shardul Thakur or Bravo with those slowers in those kind of wickets, which makes it doubly difficult for batsmen to score. So in such circumstances, Dhoni knows he is the king. He's Pista. He knows, like, okay, this is where my game is. Even if you run around with 7 overs, 80 runs, I am here to pull you back in the next 8 overs. So obviously, any team is going to go leak runs in the last 5 overs. That is because it's a batsman's game. It's a batter's game, basically. So that 7 to 15 is very crucial. Dhoni knows very clear. See, many matches, if Jadeja is on a song, he'll go with Jadeja 4 overs. Maybe stop Moeen with just 2 and give Shardul 1 and Bravo 1. But yesterday, Moeen was going good, so he gave Moeen the most, and he was kind of like trying to fill in with Jadeja's overs. So Dhoni has plenty of resources basically for 7 to 15. He can handle it with ease, even with a team that has strong batsmen. And yesterday, I was wondering, because I knew very well that Delhi between 7 to 15 will not go for big runs because they had just 5 batsmen. So it was running on Dhoni's mind. They will try to tick off with singles. That exactly happened yesterday.
Arvind, but what do you think of Delhi promoting Axar Patel? Was it a good move, or in retrospect, do you think they could have tried somebody else or stuck to their original idea?
This was definitely not about left hand right hand combination. I guess it was pure mind games because DC would have known that Jadeja will be coming to bowl, and in the last season, Axar took on Jadeja for 3 sixes when they had to win about close to around 15-16 runs in the last over. Exactly. I guess they tried playing mind game, but it did not pay off. So it was a very bizarre move, I believe, but I don't think that definitely that was a right move. They should have just gone with their current batting order, because Prithvi Shaw was there at the other end. What was the need for Axar Patel to come and again go for shots? I mean, if that was the intention, so they could have just gone with the normal batting order. Anyway, Pant is taking 15-20 balls to settle himself. So get going. So let Pant should have come in. He could have got time to settle. Shaw would have gone for the shot. So it was a very, very bad move. But luckily, Hetmeyer and Pant compensated towards the end. So which is why we are not able to find a flaw with regards to that.
Yeah, but in summation, Delhi kind of erred in the batting and in the bowling tactically. So that kind of caused the match. But as CSK fans, we are not complaining. So anyway, we'll look ahead and about tonight's match, KKR versus RCB. Yeah, sorry.
Sir, see, we were talking about Axar Patel being promoted as a bizarre move. Don't forget, we checkmated them by putting Shardul Thakur for no reason. Shardul Thakur was inside. So we thought, okay, if you can send Axar, we have Shardul. So eventually, both the moves paid no dividends.
But at least he didn't eat up any ball, no, Shardul Thakur. He finished the very first ball. I mean, he went for, I mean, he had the license to go for it. That was a kind of a move which you can kind of understand. But if he had stayed around, played for, say, 11 balls for 7 runs, that would have made things difficult for CSK.
Exactly. True.
So now, anyway, we'll talk about tonight's match. KKR versus RCB. KKR has been hot form in this UAE league, whereas RCB has blown hot and blown cold. They have had good matches. They were, they beaten themselves rather than the opposing team defeating them. So, how do you think this match will pan out, Bharat?
No, it will be an interesting contest. See, I would say, but going by the current form, advantage KKR. But if you see at the points table, you can very well say better than KKR on the whole. Put both the faces together, better net run rate and better point. I mean, Bangalore on an average has done exceptionally well than KKR, but the latest phase in Dubai shows KKR is the strongest team to match. But I'll tell you one thing, big match players will come on that particular match, they will deliver. That's Kohli, AB, Maxi, and of course, Bharat chipping in. Yeah, I don't see Bharat scoring runs this much, but these three batsmen are there. And one of them is going to, if one of them is going to get going today, I think they'll go berserk. As far as KKR is concerned, they'll just stick to their basics. They knew they had their boxes perfectly ticked. They know like who has to go do what and when. That it's very clear with them. Maybe I would expect the captain to take the responsibility, come in early and score some runs. And the selection dilemma is always there with Andre Russell, whom you're going to throw out. Shakib is doing wonderful things. So it will be like an interesting contest. Informed KKR versus you never know what will happen to RCB, which side of the bed the team is going to get up this morning and how they are going to play this evening. So it will be a classy contest today. I'm eagerly waiting for some run piece. Hopefully, it's one thing RCB can do is they cannot chase any score put up by KKR. That's my personal gut feeling because the kind of bowling that KKR has. So the best thing RCB should do is to bat first. With kind of strong hitters like Bahubalis in their team, they should go whack, get a very good score, put up a decent total, put some pressure on the KKR batsman.
Arvind, I mean, do you think KKR sticking with their all guns blazing style, that kind of has worked for them? Or because I was, but this is not a strategy they have come up with this season alone, because they have put in the power play, they have scored the maximum number of boundaries among the all IPL teams. And some of the numbers, the one article in Cricket was pretty revealing, because both the back end and the front end, they are going berserk. And the difference between these two teams are huge. And they are the teams that have used spinners the most in the power as a bowling unit also. Forget about batting. As the bowling unit also, using spinners at the top and towards the end, that has been huge, because they have consistently gone for either this wrist spinners or mystery spinners. So do you think that kind of a strategy working tonight also?
Oh, definitely. I believe that among the four teams, as of now, KKR looks the complete side. In the last couple of matches, what we have seen is how they have tried to not lose wickets in the first 10 overs. Shubman Gill has been quite a good anchor. Yes, he is at times it doesn't work, but he has been quite a good playing a good anchor role with Venki Iyer and Tripathi trying to go for shots. Like now, I believe that they are a complete side. They have all the they have everything in their bag, just that they need to deliver at the right moment. Today is a game. It's a knockout. It's a literal knockout. And one bad day for KKR will do all the harm. But even I also agree the fact that they will start as favorites today's match, considering that it's being played in Sharjah. They have been playing in Sharjah for a couple of times now, and with the form they are in UAE, and with the conditions, I mean, with the ability to exploit the conditions in UAE, I think they will start as favorites today. And with their current strategy, they'll definitely go with the current strategy of bowling spinners up front and also towards in, because that has been working for them, whichever the opponent is.
Yeah, okay. On that note, we'll wind up, because we'll expect another cracker of a game as we had last week.
Definitely.
So tonight should be also be fun. we'll gather tomorrow morning and discuss that also. Thanks, Bharat. Thanks, Aravind. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye. Stay
Bye,
safe.
bye, bye.